Hello, everybody. How's it going?
What's up? It's been a while.
It's been like forever.
Yeah.
84 years.
Oh, that's my phone. No, that was you.
I
not
don't
me.
know.
We're hearing ourselves talk to each other. The audio's working.
Yeah, hey, that's all it was. It was an audio test.
Good. I'm glad you got it.
Were there any good books in that order?
I hope so.
Is there any such thing as a bad book?
Well,
There is, but
there's some you read and you go, "What?" Thankfully, we haven't had too many of those we've read.
right, not in a while.
I think probably some of this Scout stuff I read was a little disappointing. Mother of Madness was a little disappointing.
Yeah, that
I think that's
one was more than disappointing.
Yeah. And I think 3, the last issue, just came out this last week, and I don't even want to read it.
I read half of one, and that's it.
So, yeah, we're here to talk about comics today. It's New Comic Book Day. Some of our stuff here in-house still hasn't arrived. Some of our independent stuff. Our Diamond order was, like a lot of people, late. So, I think they sent out a statement last week saying it's going to be late. So
Yeah.
I still don't think we've gotten it. So we've gotten Marvel and DC so far, and then we've both got a couple of books we've read over the last week from, I've got House of Slaughter 1 that I think came out last week.
Yeah, I've got my Human Reigns is my book from last week that
Yeah.
I didn't get to read. So
I'm playing a little bit of catch up here. I think you might have something from this week. I'm not really sure.
I've got
Amazing
books from this
Fantasy,
week.
and the
Yeah.
Plumber is also this week as well.
Yeah, I've got several from this week. I went ahead and brought in Spider-Man because you read it this week.
Yep. Yeah, we're kind of keeping up with that one together.
I talked about it a little bit last week, but we can talk about it again.
Yeah, for sure. So, you want to get started on one of your books here?
Yeah, so the book that I read from just getting caught up on my stuff from last week was Human Reigns #2.
Okay.
I think, did you read the first one with me when it...
I think so.
This is the one, it's like Bird Box or A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the thing that you can't do in this one is feel any sort of heightened emotion, and that's when the monster comes out.
Correct. Yeah.
I really like the concept of the monsters, and we dive deeper into a couple of the characters in this one. The couple that was getting married at the end of issue 1.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be the main characters.
Kind of focal point from here on out.
And like they survive the wedding just barely, and it like traumatizes the dude.
Yeah.
Like he won't be intimate with her. Like he's afraid to even touch her because he doesn't want to.
He doesn't want emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's so afraid of getting her killed.
That's weird.
So yeah, it's pretty. I really feel sorry for him as a character, and the wife too, just because she wants all that stuff and can't get him to like let his guard down.
Yeah.
And we see a scene where he's like putting up quilts and stuff on the walls to like pad it and insulate it because the news is telling everyone it's safe inside.
I don't know how that's going to keep them from.
It's not.
Okay. Let's look at them.
Yeah,
Let's see how that's going to work.
People get killed inside of a building, and yeah, so there goes that theory. But it's a good story still. I really like the concept of the monsters.
This is Vault Comics.
This is a Vault book, yeah. And I really want to just. I hope that these characters. I just want them to be okay, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's they've got you where you want you. There's a reader there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
So yeah, it's a good read. I'd recommend it.
So I'll start off with my kind of independent one. So I did House of Slaughter #1. You said you read this last week?
I did read it last week, which I've not read anything else from that universe.
From the Slaughterverse, I guess you would call it. Yeah, I haven't either. I think at one point we had Tyler Kirkham on a live cell, and people kept asking us to have him draw Erica Slaughter, and even Tyler, like none of us were like, who is that? Because it was like, I think we were only 4 or 5 issues into.
It was Anna. Who came first last year?
It was Tyler.
Was it Tyler?
It was
Okay.
Tyler they were asking and people kept asking him to draw Erica Slaughter from Something Is Killing Children. And we're like, we don't even know who that is. But like I said, it was only like 5 issues in. So it really hadn't like blown up. And since then, of course it has. But So it was kind of crazy. And he did a couple, I think we had a blank and some other stuff with that. So this is the first really I've read of this. And of course, it's James Tynion writing it. So it's going to be written very well. He did a great job with it. I mean, you get the introductory of the character real quick. You understand the back and forth in the timelines very easily with the way they did the pages and the art. You understand the black pages are present, white pages are past tense. You know, I mean, so it goes pretty quick. I'm curious to see where it's going to go.
I enjoyed it. There are some things that I didn't quite like. I wonder if you were reading Something Is Killing the Children, if you would have just picked up on more naturally, like the different colored masks. Like, I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I feel like it's that probably is a case from there, but I mean, you still kind of understand that.
You understand that they don't like each other, but
black masks look like they're more solo. White masks look more like they're group killers.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a newer version of the mask. I'm not quite sure. If you know, let us know. We haven't done the wiki searches yet for that, but it's pretty good. I liked it overall. I'm interested to see where it's going to go at the end. I kind of, you kind of got an idea from the synopsis on reading the book, but makes you want to know what happened between him and this Jace the Butcher kid. So, so I liked it. It was a good read. It read very easy to follow. So I like that a lot. I like it when I don't have to. Again, it's like my number one thing. I just let me be in it and go on. So
yeah.
So that's pretty good. I liked it.
So getting into this week's book, I have Soul Plumber number 2. This book is ridiculous. It's about a Catholic seminary dropout.
Okay.
Or he gets kicked out of seminary because
so he's going to be a priest.
He's trying to be a priest.
Okay.
And he gets kicked out. First issue, we don't know why he gets kicked out. The second issue, we learn it's because he saw a statue that he thought was crying blood and impersonated a bishop to call the Pope to be like, hey, it's a miracle. You need to come see this, just to find out that it was a sewage leak and not blood. Okay. And so they kicked him out.
All right.
But he gets kicked out and he goes to work for a gas station with just like in the crackhead side of town.
Yeah.
And so he's like letting...
so that's where the soul part of the name comes from.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's trying to basically help these people by like there's a bum that he lets take fountain drinks and stuff.
Okay.
And he's trying to do the good work from this crappy gas station.
Okay.
And then one day this dude comes, like this evangelical TV preacher dude comes through and invites him to this seminar thing. And this guy's actually a con man. He calls himself the Soul Plumber.
Okay.
And he's built a device to do exorcisms.
Oh. To do exorcisms?
Exorcisms.
Okay. Yeah.
The device doesn't work. And you don't even buy the device. You buy the blueprints and then have to build it yourself.
Okay.
Well, he goes and he's totally convinced by this dude. He thinks it's real. He's like, this is my calling, is to be a soul plumber.
Okay.
But he can't afford the blueprints, so he steals some.
Okay.
And then he's trying to build this thing out of like household parts and actually makes it work.
He has to make a real exorcism
He
device.
makes, that actually works. And he pulls out, he takes his crackhead buddy from the probably schizophrenic dude from the gas station. He's like, I'm going to fix your demons. And they go, and he does this. He accidentally kills the dude and pulls some interdimensional alien out of his body.
Okay.
I told you, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, cool concept, though.
It's, let me see, that is about where
this is basically, this is DC, right? But
this is DC. It's the Black Label.
Yeah, at one point it would have been their Vertigo line. Now it's Black Label.
So he like figures out, he connects with this alien, and the alien decides he's in a weird way wants to help and learn from humans, but he needs a body to go fit in. But he doesn't just like get a body; he goes and steals various body parts from people.
Okay.
And so he's walking around looking like the Suicide Squad dude with his arms off.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Interesting. So he's not quite there.
Yeah, he's not quite there. That's the alien walking around, and that's about where the book ends. I think someone from the Soul Plumber, either the very end. I think someone from the actual Catholic Church finds out and is going to look for both the priest kid and the entity.
Okay. So
it's ridiculous.
Now there's a manhunt.
There's a manhunt.
The Catholic Church cannot have it.
Hey, Be Nasty, how's it going? You read any good books this week?
So which I saw on here you said which Ahsoka Anakin covers. Tell me what books those are on. Is this the 50th anniversary covers from Star Wars that they did? I only saw like one or two of those. The Avengers Strange One shot, if y'all read it. I'm going to talk about the death of Doctor Strange here in a minute, but I don't think I've read the Avengers Strange one shot. Is that this week, Be Nasty? All right, well, we're waiting on that. I'll move on to Moon Knight. So Moon Knight, we got Tigra coming into this issue. Of course, she was a West Coast Avenger with Moon Knight some time ago. So interesting to see her kind of come into the scene. Of course, he's in the last issue, he's already kind of dealt with the other hand of Khonshu. So it's a pretty good little issue, kind of get a little more insight into just to who Mark Spector is and who Moon Knight is. A little bit more of an emotional kind of transition here. So I liked that. It's kind of cool, just kind of get a little closer to the character. Mm-hmm. So it's been a good book so far. I really like it. This was kind of more, like I said, just a way to kind of get an insight into him and kind of see what he's going through. There is, of course, a couple people he kind of took down. We get a little appearance from, what's his name? I'm blanking now that I'm going to sit here and say it. Riveting audio. From... Oh, yeah, Jigsaw.
Okay.
So we see a couple of different characters like that in here, but it was really cool to see Tigra, and it looks like she's going to hang around for at least a few issues. So pretty cool. I like it. Again, being written by McKay. And then the art on it's been great as well. It's also something
I really like I don't know if it's cover B or what, but the like venomized hieroglyph cover.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's been good so far. I've really liked it. So if you're not reading Moon Knight, it's only 4 issues in, and I think it's pretty good. So make sure you're picking that one up. What else you got?
Going to Marvel, I did X-Men Legends number 8. I have liked how all the X-Men Legends have been just...
Now, are they one-shots or are they like a continual story?
So they're like 2 and 3 shots.
Okay.
It varies from
based
every
like in
story.
The Jim Lee era, right?
Mostly.
Yeah.
This one is a story where I guess Jubilee gets kidnapped, and they're trying to give Jubilee to Omega Red, and Wolverine's trying to save her. I mean, there's not much to the story other than that. I like the 90s style artwork. And I like all the costumes and stuff in this particular era.
Yeah. I think they're for X-Men. I mean, there's some iconic ones, but I think we all recognize these right away.
Yeah.
So
it was good. The whole thing's been good. I wouldn't say like it's a must read, but if you're a fan of the X-Men and you're a fan of this era,
yeah,
it's a good book. And
Omega Red's even in the normal stuff right now is making a big push for things.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the Wolverine world, so it's pretty cool to see him.
Cool.
Be Nasty. I guess I'm going to have to read that one since it follows the death of Doctor Strange. So I'll go see if I can find it on the shelf as soon as we're done with this, and I'll pick it up and I'll read that. The death of Doctor Strange 2 was good. I guess I can go ahead and use that transition to go ahead and talk about it. One of the cool covers of the Jusco cover here. Really cool. I like that. So this... it's getting interesting. So I don't know if we've ever heard of these new characters that they have in here. The three mothers. very interesting.
I think I remember reading the synopsis and their new characters.
Yeah, they seem to be brand new. They have some child that I guess we're going to meet maybe in the next issue. That they basically looks like they devour magic of some sort. The three mothers are named the three mothers: the Weird, an alien mage priestess; the Crown, a powerful warrior queen; and the Crawling, a monstrous composed of acid-mouthed worms.
Okay. That's scary.
This entire issue got really weird because everybody's like, who the heck are you, Doctor Strange? And you just died, and now you're showing back up. But
so he's
you're
back
younger.
already too?
Well, he's not.
Okay.
It's like a interdimensional like copy of himself that he made just in case he died to make sure everything was in order and his killer was found.
Okay.
And so Doctor Strange is still at this point dead, but this new one shows up and makes it seem like he only has like 7 days to live or something like that. I'm not really sure.
He watched the tape, didn't he?
Yeah, so he's it's interesting, but it's been so long ago that he was still just Doctor Strange, sorcerer of black magic. Like he doesn't know he's the sorcerer supreme.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and Captain America gets on the comms and he's like, "Hey, like what's happening? All this stuff's happening." And he's like, "Well, who's the sorcerer supreme?" And they're all like, "You are." And he's like, "Oh, we're all doomed." So it's pretty good. Like I said, I've liked it. It's good reads. It's been good so far. So like I said, I'll have to go pick up that Avenger one shot and kind of keep continuing the story. It does have a checklist for you in the back of the book, which also, well, it says that the Avengers #1 shot isn't on sale till 10/27. So yeah, that was this last week. So yeah, I'll have to go look for that. And then Strange Academy was also this last week, so I have to go pick up both of those and make sure I read them just to kind of get a good idea.
I appreciate when they give us the checklists.
Yes, yep. So you know you're not completely lost. So it's pretty good. Death of Doctor Strange. I'm curious how it's going to affect everything else so far because you even see it mentioned in Spider-Man and some other books as well, where they're trying to be like, yeah, we can't get any help because he's dead.
Yeah,
so.
It seems like there's a lot of big events going on,
but they're all still kind of their own thing.
Yeah,
but they're still mentioning them, you know, which is cool.
There's that, and there's Charles Magneto,
and then Iron Man's got some crazy stuff going on.
I think Devil's Reign starts next week.
Yes, I think there's 2 issues. The second issue comes out in December 8th. So yeah. I think the first one's this next week.
Which I'm real excited about that one.
Yeah.
The last part of Daredevil was really good.
It might have gotten pushed. I think it comes out in December now.
Okay. I don't know. #2 was on FOC this week.
Yeah, and it may get pushed. So, because I think #1 doesn't even come out till #2 does now.
Oh.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'll have to look at my notes. But that one does look very good, though. I'm excited about that one.
Let's see. You
got 2 more. Go ahead and talk about those. Then we can get to Spider-Man.
So Amazing Fantasy. This is number 4 of 5. The story's still good. We're starting to see kind of what's going on. So they're on the island of the dead.
Okay.
So somehow Cap, Spider-Man, and Natasha died. And they go into this battle in the previous issue, and Uncle Ben shows up and betrays everybody.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out Uncle Ben is working with the king of the island to be the greatest king ever, and he's going to bridge the island with the living world. Because that's how bad Ben wants to get back to May.
Oh, okay.
So he went and just
so it's kind of putting a dark, sinister spin on Uncle Ben here.
Yeah, he killed everybody to raise a zombie. Now they're double dead, which makes them zombies.
Okay.
So.
All right. And this is a 5-part series?
Yeah, this is number 4, so there's one more to go.
So does he, at the end of this issue, basically make the bridge? And that's kind of where we're at, or what?
So where we're at is we saw the scheme unravel. Mm-hmm. We saw after the battle, Natasha, Spider-Man, and Cap were captured. They're in a cell.
So do we know who brought them there?
Well, they died.
Oh, okay.
Whatever happened in the real world, they're dead. Yeah.
Okay.
Ben gets double crossed by the king, so he goes lets Spidey out, and Spidey goes rounds up the other. That's about where it ends. This character that looks like Storm and has thunder powers, she gets captured. Like, apparently, something about her with the adamantium shield or the vibranium shield is how they're going to create the portal bridge to the living world, and so we see that being activated.
Okay,
and that's about it.
All right.
But yeah, our heroes are mustering. We'll see the final battle in the next issue.
All right. My kids have been reading that. And I read the first 2 issues.
It's not bad. It's kind of hard to follow just because it's so way out there.
Yeah, it's an interesting storyline for sure.
Carr Andrews is writing it, and yeah,
he's probably doing all the art.
Doing all the art.
Yeah.
And I love the covers. The covers have been awesome. If you're curious about it, I would recommend reading it. I mean, it's definitely not a bad read.
Yeah, I would think we probably still have all the issues here in the back unless they've gone out to mystery books or anything like that. But you're welcome to, next time you're in, come up here and take a look.
Yeah. Is that Brandon?
Is that Brandon?
I don't know what Brandon's actual account name is.
Well, I know he would be Azrael.
That's what I figured.
If it is Brandon, quit trolling. If you're not Brandon, CGC books just depend on when they were shipped, and they will get here as soon as we get them. We send them out like immediately. So we don't hold on to anything. As soon as we get something in hand, they go out.
So my next book before we get to Spider-Man is Dark Knights of Steel #1. This is another kind of what-if story arc where the L family ends up in crashing rockets in medieval times. And I say the L family because Superman wasn't born when the planet exploded. So the whole family like shoved into the rocket.
Okay.
So Mom and Pop are alive on Earth.
Okay.
And they make friends with the king of the country that they crash in, and the king also like sees them as gods, so passes the power to them. So they are the king and queen.
Yeah.
And then they have Cal, so he's the prince, and Bruce was the son of the old king and queen, so they call him the bastard prince.
Okay.
And he acts like a bodyguard to Cal.
You wouldn't think he would need one.
You wouldn't think so, but it is taken in medieval times.
Okay.
And that is one thing about all of the Kryptonians. They're vulnerable to magic.
Okay.
So there's
magic.
that's a good time to have magic characters around.
Okay. I got it. The fantasy aspect there.
Yeah. So they go to Bruce is sent to take out this Banshee, which turns out to be Black Canary.
Well, we see that, but at the same time,
I don't know what any of the icons mean.
We just see you trolling, okay?
No CGC for you. So Bruce is taking down this Banshee, which is Black Canary.
Okay.
And she does her scream, which should have killed
So
him.
in a way, this is kind of like what Peach Momoko has been doing with the Marvel characters, but they're doing it kind of like...
It's a lot like that.
Yeah, okay.
And that should have killed him. It didn't. So he goes back and he's like trying to explain himself to the king and queen because basically when it didn't kill him, it threw him off.
Yeah.
And so Cal shows up and saves him.
Okay.
And so basically he's trying to explain to the king and queen why Cal was there. But then the king asks to go for a walk with him and reveals that he had an affair with his mom, and he's actually his son. So that's why he didn't get hurt, because he's half Kryptonian in this universe.
Bruce is half Kryptonian as well?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So it's getting real.
And that's where it ends. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I think the whole concept is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting... I'm guessing they probably got the idea because they were with the whole Marvel thing, but it looks like this is a continual read, not like Peaches, where they are connected, but they're not like one-shots.
If we're being honest, even Peaches is a continual read. They just, for whatever reason, decide to brand them each differently.
Yeah, yeah, and they wanted to focus it on that character, but they're all still connected.
But that's the thing. That was true for the first issue, but since the first issues, it's been centered around one character.
Yeah. Okay.
It's silly, but You do you.
Yep, I guess so.
So this is a 12-issue run, is what this is.
Well, thank you for subscribing, Azrael. We appreciate that. Make sure you do that every month with your Prime account, please. So I guess we're to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I had to go back and check because it's been coming out so often to make sure I hadn't missed an issue. So I'm still enjoying it. I'm still liking what they're doing with Ben. We see a little bit of Peter in here, and makes you wonder who Aunt May's about to go call.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a little bit more in depth into the Beyond Corporation. Again, we're seeing a lot of references to other titles like Morbius, Death of Doctor Strange, Iron Man. So we're still not quite sure exactly what's happening with him. But the big thing is what happens at the end with Morbius.
Yeah.
Did Ben Reilly just become a vampire?
Yeah, that was pretty. Whoa.
So it's a week old now, so spoilers are out there. But yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to make him different enough to survive as his own character in the universe.
Yeah.
And not just be a carbon copy Pete,
But it looks like, from what we can see from what's going to come up next, is that Morbius is going to be controlling him. So I wonder what that's going to be about.
Well, and like, why is he all vampired out, like monstered out again?
Yeah.
Because Morbius, he kind of fluctuates the line as good guy, bad guy.
Yeah,
thing.
he's an anti-hero in a way.
I wonder if there's something that's causing him to act out.
So I like it. It's good. I like where it's going. Ben Reilly has his own series starting in January. So I'm interested to see what that's going to look like. It looks like Pete is not in a coma anymore. They do mention that, although we get no conversation from Pete. And then we also see Black Cat show up there too as well. Also being extremely worried about her man, even though it's Mary Jane's man.
Now I do wonder.
Man.
I do wonder because starting. Let's see, did 78 get pushed back? I didn't see it on the shelf out there.
I think it's next week.
Back that in the back says 11/3.
Yeah, it may have gotten pushed. I think everything this week was supposed to be this was supposed to be a really big week, and a lot of it's coming out next week now.
Okay, yeah. So I guess next week is the first one with a dot something.
Yeah,
issues,
and I think those are going to be more about Misty, and
I think it's going to be about the Beyond Corporation in general.
Yeah.
So we will get to see some.
Yeah, because it's like literally every week for the next 8 weeks there's supposed to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty intense.
I think they'll answer some questions in those dot bay.
Yeah, dot Beyond Corporation, basically.
I think they're going to answer some questions, but at the same time, I hate when they do that.
Yeah.
I hate the decimal point.
It just makes it even harder to keep up. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And I don't know, maybe they'll use that as kind of a way of saying, like, okay, now we're actually going to get back into Pete's part of the story, or, whatever it may be. I guess we'll see.
Well, it kind of started with that. The first issue in this run had like a backup story, basically.
Yeah.
I think these are going to be backup stories, but they're too big to actually publish in one book.
Yeah. And, I know, like I said, Batman's been doing that with Punchline, and Joker's had a Punchline backup, and then Batman's had other backup stories in it. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with that. It's been good so far. I do like it, but it is a lot. Yeah,
I love Spider-Man. I'm really enjoying the story. I don't want them to keep up the every week thing for very long.
No, I think that January that stops. I think it goes back to the either 2 or 3 times a month, which is what they're doing. And I know that what they're trying to do. They're trying to get to 1,000 as fast as possible.
Right. That's just a lot of money to invest in Spider-Man every month.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think it's going to get to that 2 a month plus Ben Reilly, I think is probably what we're going to see starting in January. So, but it's been good so far. Like, this one is Thompson writing this one. And then the interior art's been great. We've had Gleason doing some. This one's Pacelli. I think they did the art on this one. You could tell it was a little bit different.
It's a little different, but it's not.
It's not too far off.
Yeah.
But as many Spider-Man books as they're pumping out, they have to have teams of people working on it right now.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So I do agree. It is Spider-Man is a lot, but it's their cash cow, for sure. I think we talked about this last time you were on. Is Spider-Man outsells every other book by far.
Yeah. And DC, like we've even heard this from the guys at DC. They base how good they're doing based on how good Batman does compared to Spider-Man, because Batman and Spider-Man are the two number one selling books out of all books. So if they're feeling like, all right, we did this much percentage of what Spider-Man did compared with Batman, then we're still doing okay. I mean, that's kind of crazy that that's how DC bases their, how we're doing. So.
Yeah. I don't have anything else for this week.
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, I had another book I wanted to try to get to, just wasn't able to get to it, but I'm going to pick up some more Doctor Strange books, and next week should be a really big week. Yeah, well,
I should have a ton of independents this week to talk about next week. Our Diamond Order just was not here in time.
Yep.
So, yeah. Thanks everybody for watching, for listening, and thank you guys for commenting and talking with us.
Yep. Don't forget Eternals is this week if you are able to go watch it. Mm-hmm. We're going to go enjoy it tomorrow night after our podcast,
which is at 7 p.m. Central. You can watch that live here on Twitch and come hang out with us there.
Yep.
So thank you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Later.